Well, I can echo everything Coach McGuire just said. Thrilled to be here. Great bowl experience. It's always good to be wanted, and you feel that from the people attached to the Sun Bowl, the people of El Paso. The weather's a whole lot nicer than back home, so we're thrilled, obviously, with that. And as this week winds down, obviously, getting anxious for game day. We're about at that point, and we'll have a good practice today. We expect it, and we're going to get it from our guys. The last real physical work of the week, leading up till Saturday. So, we're excited for game day.
Coach, anything you can say about Brad Kaya, specifically what you see and what kind of challenge he'll pose?
Well, and I've said it probably over the last couple of weeks when asked. I mean, we see some pretty good quarterback play in our conference, and when you watch him on film, he is without question, at that level of the best that we've seen this year, and that is meant to be a compliment, and it's also true. I mean, he makes you go. What they do offensively, he can get them out of trouble. When there might otherwise be, from a pass rushing standpoint, he can make every throw. He can get the ball downfield, which puts stress on you vertically. Very very impressed with what he's done thus far, and major challenge for us.
Anything you can say about Joe Yearby, number 2?
Well, what you see in all their skill position is you see speed. The ability to one, make you miss, and then two, to flat run by you, and that's the biggest fear for us as a defense is how you defend speed, and what you try to do as best you can is to not allow yourself situations where it's one-on-one, because you're going to lose most of those battles, and that's what you see on film across the board with their skill guys. So again, we got to do a good job of rallying and getting as many bodies to the football as we can.
Does that become more difficult against an offense that has almost a one-to-one pass-run ratio?
Well, it does, and there's no simple answer behind it, and a lot of their run game also includes the pass option off of it. So it just puts that much more stress on you defensively. But ultimately, with effort in that, we'll try to get as many hats there as we can. Whether it's a bit delayed if you're covering a route until that run establishes itself. But no, we got to rally the football and do the best we can.
Coach, their offensive coordinators came in here and noted that you guys have, become a team that's good at takeaways. That's something that you've preached all year. Do you think they've lived up to what you wanted coming in here this year?
I think so, and in fairness to them, you always immediately think about the ones you didn't get, and I think there's more to be had, as you look back through a 12-game season. But I think, the 11 straight games, I think we've had one. That's not by chance. Takeaways aren't luck. You create them, you force them. It's how we practice. It's what we preach. I think that the guys do believe in it. You want to impact a football game, you fight for that football. Our sole purpose on that field as a defense is to get the football back to a very explosive offense that we have. So we know that's our mission each and every snap, and certainly if we want to have any success come Saturday, that trend's got to continue.
They're an offense that doesn't seem to turn the ball over much. Does their athleticism allow them to not take so many chances?
Well, and they'll throw the ball downfield, and a lot of times what you'll find with teams that do have such a vertical passing game, what comes with that at times is the interceptions, for instance, and you don't see that on film. I mean, numbers don't suggest them throwing it to opposite color jerseys. So we got to be good and get as many guys as we can in a position on top of their receivers to try to make them pay for taking shots. But no, they and it goes back to quarterback play. He does a good job of finding the opening guy and not forcing football.
Coach, what would you say the strength of your defense?
Well, I'd like to think effort. I think if we've done anything right this year, we've begun to develop a brand of a defense that's going to play extremely hard. We feel like we can out effort people even in our conference, and that we don't say that because it's easy. It's extremely hard to do that, but we're going to play hard. We're going to fight for the football, and those things have kind of been the again what's becoming more of an identity in terms of who we are and what we are, and that But it's always a one-game evaluation, so you're one game away from not being that defense, you know. And so that's the message to our guys. Is we've done that for the bulk of the weeks this year, and got to do it again Saturday.
When did you start to see the makings of this identity forming in your defense, you think?
Really hard to identify one moment or one game, but it's the cumulative impact of both practice time and the game reps as guys have gotten more experience. But what you saw very early on was a pretty good buy-in from our guys. As we made changes, this defensive staff got together a year ago, January, and the guys bought in, and so very slow at times, in terms of making the progress that we needed. Obviously, early on in the year, I don't think the film would look quite the same as later in the year, which is what it should be. We're always constantly trying to get better than that. But probably, as the midway mark of the year, as we got into conference play and continued in our conference, I think we made progress, and certainly we still got a long way to go.
Any more questions? Could you talk a little bit, Hercules Mana'afa, how good can he be, and what does he need to do for the next step?
Well, he's a talented young player in our program. He is disruptive. He's explosive. The height and weight doesn't do him justice in terms of his impact on the game. I mean, a lot of times those defensive linemen, you always like to talk about the guy that's 6'6", 300 pounds, and he may not be the most imposing guy walking through the door, but he's as strong as anyone we got. And that might not be weight room numbers, but on the football field, he's extremely strong. He has quickness. He's quicker than you think he is. He's faster than you think he is. If we can get more like him, we'll be okay up front. But no, he's been a disruptive guy for us as a redshirt freshman.